What's up, y'all? It's Jasmine.
And what's up, y'all? It's De'Viar.
And you and I are tuned into Stories of the Streets.
And as always, Stories of the Streets is sponsored by Black Scent, Rogue Media, Change Waco, and the New Black Collective.
Today we have a special guest, Miss Kennedy Sam. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys so much for inviting me today. My name is Kennedy Sam. I guess in work capacity, I'm the Director of Marketing Communications for Creative Waco, which is our local nonprofit arts agency for Waco, McLennan County. In life capacity, I'm a long-term Wacoan. In fun capacity, I'm a floral designer. So, a couple boxes checked right there.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us. I guess start with just like you. How long you been in Waco, and are you from here, stuff like that?
Yeah, so I guess 20 years, give or take. So we moved here when I was 5. I was born in Chicago. My mom's from Georgia. My dad's from New Orleans. We moved here when I was 5 and did all my schooling in Waco ISD. And then I left for college. I went to LSU and then ended up back in Waco kind of on purpose, kind of on accident. So I moved back here officially after graduation in like August of 2018. And I was still like deciding what I wanted to do, next steps after graduating college. And so I was interviewing, still working some freelancing back in Baton Rouge, but I'd like committed to moving to Connecticut to work for like this completely digital bank. And I was like, it's the middle of winter. Like I'm not super sold on it. But by like the grace of God, my mom ran into Fiona, and I didn't know anything about Creative Waco when I was gone, because it was started right after I left, like literally the next year after I left, the organization was founded. And then after that, I had a conversation with Fiona, and the person who was in my position was leaving and moving on. I'm still in the community though, and so I was like, hey, I'm still looking for a job, even though I'm committed to one, but I really think that this is something special, and the work you guys have been doing really aligns with what I want to do. And so, yeah.
No, you said you're like the marketing director, right?
Yes.
So what does that like kind of entail? Like, what do you do?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
So, Creative Waco is our local arts agency for Waco and McLennan County. So, we work with the city to do regranting for local arts organizations, provide smaller grants for arts nonprofits, people who are more on like the grassroots event planning and artist development. And so for me, my day-to-day is some things are consistent, but it changes a lot. So we have an awesome team, but we just have a bunch of programs like our apprenticeship that's in the summer, and it's been in the fall lately. So supporting that, doing social media planning, reaching out to artists to see if we can work together for certain projects, or bringing attention to different projects that we have in the pipeline to cultivate local talent and stuff. So it's a bunch. Yeah.
It sounds like you're always busy.
Yeah.
And then you got your I don't want to say side hustle, but you got your own little like passion project. You're like a florist, right?
Yeah.
Plug yourself. What is it called?
So it's Stock and Stem Floral Design. I started officially a year ago on January 28th. It was just kind of on a whim. Like I always loved flowers. I got that from my mom. She always kept flowers in the house. Super creative person, like always doing DIY projects. And one of those that just always reoccurred was as she would volunteer with different organizations and help coordinate events, flowers were always a really big thing. And so it's just something that I always found beauty in. When I was in college and with grocery shopping, I would pick up some flowers. And so I was just making arrangements for friends and families for birthdays and stuff. And then my friends were like, hey, you're kind of good at this and they're so beautiful. I think you should do it.
Yeah.
And bring that beauty to other people. So yeah, January 28th 2021, Stock and Stem was kind of born right before Valentine's Day. So I partnered with one of my friends from high school who was doing grazing boards at the time, and so we kind of launched a little Valentine's Day thing, and then from there it took off really quickly. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, where this is going, but thank you for trusting me and trusting my process and being patient with me. And so this year has been amazing. Like I got to do a lot of things that I'd never imagined, and I've learned a lot just about floristry and design and math. Math is just, it's been kicking my
Math
butt.
plays a part into all
Yes. So when you buy flowers at a wholesale price, so you're buying things in bulk, and so whenever you're planning for, whatever you're putting together, it's like making sure you're not overbuying, because there's nothing really you can do with it if it's not included. And so you still want to be respectful of like prices and stuff. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You just said it. I hate math so much.
Yeah, so much. I was a communications major, and I was like, yes, I have to take high school math, which I almost failed. So honestly, like I remember I was like scarred. I got a 33 on my first math test in college, and I was like, is something wrong with me?
No, it's horrible.
Math
I took
is trash.
statistics, I think, in college, and I was just like, this has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with us. And they were like, oh, it's easy. I studied so hard for 72.
Yep.
Barely made it.
No, I was like, by the grace of God, I hit my 3 or 6 hours of math class, and then I was like, I will never have to do math again in my life. Joke's on me.
Yeah. That's the trash part. I hate college so much. It's such a scam. But
that's another conversation.
Yeah, another one. That's a whole nother can of worms they go open up. Trying to think. I had a question, and this is classic me. I lose my questions all the time. You got some while I'm still trying to find my...
Oh, yeah. So with Creative Waco, I've seen some of the projects that you guys have put together. When you are looking for, different artists in the, I was about to say neighborhood.
in the community.
In the community.
Sure, yeah.
What do y'all look for? Are you looking for people who are not, they don't have as big of a platform as some other artists, or like what is you guys' criteria for how you seek out these artists?
Yeah, that's a great question. So being an arts agency, we don't just work in what people think the arts is, visual art, painting, sculpting, whatever, but we service all of the arts across the board. Okay. So I mean, the arts is what you make it, honestly. So from, visual artists, painters, muralists, sculptors, all the way to musicians, and what else? Like culinary artists, like all across the board are artists that we all serve. So as a resource for the community, this is before I was I'm a part of the organization, but we do have a creative directory where we have artists just submit themselves so that we have a platform where people can just browse for whatever they're looking for, because we get so many emails like, hey, I'm just looking for someone who does this, can you direct me to someone? And so to make the process as equitable and like across the board, we just try to direct them to those. But I mean, it ranges in what the project is asking for. So in terms of recruiting, it's just meeting people in face-to-face situations, working with them or running across them, and saying, hey, submit yourself for the creative directory. It was a pleasure working with you. Like, we'd love to have you in our wheelhouse of people who we can connect you with as these jobs come up. So, I mean, it depends, different styles. People reach out to us and like, hey, I'm looking for someone to do something graffiti-like, or I'm looking for like a super life-size sculpture, or I'm looking for someone who can make puppets, and like these are people we know, but we are constantly trying to make sure that people
don't miss nobody.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part. Like, you think of people, like, right when people ask, but I'm like, wait, I can give you a few people that I can think of off the bat, but I would much prefer that you put out a public call and we can repost it and let our network decide if this is something that they want to do. So,
right.
I mean, just me being a Black woman, I am super into making sure that, whatever we do, whatever kind of outreach we do, that it's going across the board. And so I'm cultivating those relationships with artists of color to make sure that they know that these resources are available, and so that we value them in their artistry, and that we want to connect them if possible too. So
cool. I asked that because I'm just like, it's hard being an artist.
Yeah.
It's very hard. I know, like, I taught myself how to paint, so one thing that I learned, just in doing it is first and foremost, people always want a discount.
Oh yeah.
And just not having those resources, and that's kind of why I asked, like, how do people know, that they can be a part of y'all's network?
Yeah.
Because I know how hard it was for me. Like, I still have art that I made that I haven't sold from like 2 years ago, and that's another question I have. So, do y'all have any programs? I guess that's what it would be. Do you have any programs that will potentially teach artists, this is kind of how, this is how
the business works. Yeah.
And sometimes you're not going to sell everything, but, you still keep creating, you still keep being, the bomb artist that you are, even in those times when you're not, sometimes you just don't. And I had to learn it the hard way. So do y'all have anything in place for, artists that may be younger or that may not be as outgoing? Do y'all do anything for them?
Yeah, I want to answer that in a 2-part answer. I completely get what you're saying about people wanting discounts and everything. So whatever we post, whatever we share about artist opportunities, we never repost anything that requires you to like submit money or pay to be a part of something. So everything that we do is to make sure that you are, like, the opportunity is as beneficial as possible for you as an artist. And so, yeah, and even when we talk with people, businesses that reach out to us about wanting to work with artists across the board, we reiterate that exposure does not pay the bills. Exposure does not, that's up to the artist's discretion whether they are willing to do a job for free. But just as you go to a doctor or go to someone who's providing a service for you, you don't ask them to do something for you.
Give me a discount on my copay. I asked that because I know a lot of people, they feel obligated to.
Especially if you're starting out. Like, you have to really just realize the value of what you're bringing to the table and not being afraid to ask what you deserve.
And it takes time more than anything. And that's what I tell everybody. Like, I'm not giving anything for free.
Yeah, good.
I tell people all the time, I don't work for free. I'm not doing it. So if you can't pay me, we can't talk. There's no conversation.
And if you do, that's your discretion to choose what you want to do for free. But
don't force me.
You should never approach somebody. Because doing anything and mastering your skill, it takes time, it takes investment, it takes materials. And so when you set your prices, or when you say, I would love to, but it's going to cost this, people don't really think about that sometimes when it comes to the arts, because they just think, this is something like you can just do. You can just do. Yeah, but you got to account for all of the time you put into it. But to segue into kind of professional development, business development for artists. So yes. So we, Luann Jennings, who used to work with us, she was over our professional development for artists. She launched this program. It was about 2 years. It was called the Greenhouse Program. So it was a coaching, mentorship, professional development program, which if you did what you were supposed to do and really were committed to growing your project, you were put into, you were given the option to apply for seed funding to get, a grant to support whatever project you'd been working on in the past 6 months with her.
Oh, cool.
And so that was a 2-year project. I think we had about 18 to 24 people who was a part of that program. It was, completely free to sign to participate, weekly coaching, mentorship, all that. And then I think we gave out around, my numbers are off, but it was like $15,000 to $20,000 worth of grants, all with money that was, provided by local businesses. So it's businesses investing in our small and local artists to advance themselves. So that program ended last year, but we are navigating into, or segueing into, a bigger program. So this that we just announced in last month, it's called the AIR Institute. It is a national nonprofit organization that works with rural and small communities to essentially bridge businesses and the business community and the artist community to make the creative economy grow and thrive a little bit more, because there's a big disconnect between those two sectors, but they intersect in any ways possible. So, you think of yourself, I'm a teacher, I'm a accountant, I'm a business owner, I run a bank, whatever. How can the arts benefit me? And how can I support the arts? Or you're an artist looking for ways to, diversify your clientele, grow as a business, and just be a better business person. This program is meant, to bring those two people together and find ways that are unique to our community to grow and put those plans into action. So we hosted 2 info sessions these last few weeks. They're on our Facebook page. We streamed them through Zoom, so you guys can go back and learn more about it with the actual people who created this program. And so we're having a in-person workshop February 16th and from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Art Center of Waco, where we're actually kind of moving into the next steps of bringing this program to life and seeing what's needed in our community. And so we're inviting people, like you guys who are artists and creatives and just interested in the creative community, but also our key people who are, making things happen and, want to build more relationships across the board. And so this is for artists, it's for creatives, it's for business people, it's for anybody who wants to see growth in our creative sector and in our community. So
when you said that's February 16th?
February 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Art Center of Waco. It's free to attend. The program's free because it's a part of a grant. But so we try to make this as equitable as a process as possible. And we're also looking for facilitators. So we just finished a hiring process. Well, we just closed applications to hire someone to lead the program, but we're also looking to hire 12 facilitators too. So as we shift from the workshop session to actually like the implementation and the cultivation of like what our community needs, the core of the program works because it's people in our community who are being trained to be leaders in this program. So we're hiring 12 facilitators, and it's a paid position for sure. Like the program and trainings are all free, but as a facilitator, you are doing more work. And so, one thing I forgot to mention about this program is that it's also being launched bilingually. It's the first time that this program has been launched bilingually in the whole nation. So we are kind of a pilot program for this. And as the program continues to grow in our community, we will be able to service other communities in Texas as well. So that's why the facilitators are so important, because it's kind of a longer commitment because, as we get our program off the ground and, firing, other communities about our size who are interested in growing their arts as well, you'll be able to go out and bring that program to their communities too.
Yeah.
So
y'all are
cool.
y'all are looking to like expand past Waco. I think the first time we met I know Fiona and Vincent was involved. I think it was probably about the street mural or the Juneteenth like mural we tried to do out of chalk on the bridge that got washed away.
Darn the weather.
And that's gonna hurt in February too. I'm glad y'all are a little like further out because I knew there was another networking event that's like kind of similar, but it's that weekend that we're supposed to be really cold and so it's like so I think y'all might benefit from being a little later on. But other than that, what do y'all have? What else do y'all have coming up? Like, y'all have any other like just big projects and stuff like that people can get involved in and stuff like that?
So I'm glad you asked. So we're actually partnering with the city of Waco to help facilitate the incorporating new artworks into the updated regional airport. So right now we have 3 proposals out for the community, 2 sculpture projects. One is like a interactive mural backdrop. So we're looking for artists to submit proposals by February 15th for that. But also in ties with that program, there is a 4th project, which is later on, but we're starting the recruitment process now. But it will be a mural on the kind of glassway that connects like the security terminal airport to like the open airport. So as people are like getting off their flights and walking to baggage claim, along the glass it'll say "Welcome to Waco," but it will be in various languages and styles of our community. So we're looking for the community members to submit Welcome to Waco to us, so that you know, we can, when we hire an artist for that and put out our open call for artist submissions for that project, you know, it'll be community members handwriting and languages all on the wall, just welcoming people from near and far. Either you're returning home or, you know, you're coming here for the first time. You know, being welcomed by our community and the many cultures and languages and backgrounds represented. So if you guys are interested in doing that, submit Welcome to Waco in like a picture or PDF if you scan it. I don't know. There's many ways. I'm like, if you want to get real technical. But the form for that is on our website, creativewaco.org/project like middle calls. So but other than that, we're gearing up for our apprenticeship, which we think will happen in the summer. These past 2 years, it's been in the fall, you know, adjusting to COVID and seeing how we can put this program together as safely as possible for our students and our artist mentors. But I think we're going to have it again. We're going back to the summer. So we're starting to look for wall donors. And then, you know, it'll probably launch looking for artist mentors for that. And so about our apprenticeship, it is a 8-week program that hires young artists in WISD, so high school students over like 16 or so, to work with artist mentors and get real world concept to completion mentored work experience. And so the byproduct of that program is a mural somewhere in the city. So this is our 4th or 5th year. We're about 6 murals deep, so we have them. And so it's been a great experience thus far. And so we're just grateful for the opportunity to continue to grow that program. Hopefully soon we'll be able to have students from outside of Waco ISD who are interested in those kind of programs as well. But yeah.
Cool. How many? You said you've done like 6, or y'all have done like 6.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know all 6, like off the top of your head?
Yeah. So the first year was 1,000 Hopes for Waco. So it's on the building that is off, I think it's Jackson, but it holds putters and 900 Degrees Pizza. So it's like the really colorful origami cranes. That was the first year in, I think, 2018. And then the next year we did 2. We did the mural on the Martin Luther King community clinic. That's a part of the Waco Family Medicine network. And then we also did, where was the other one? Hold on, let me think. That one, and then the one on Brotherwell. Those were done in the same summer. And then we partnered with TF&B this last year to do their new East Waco branch. And then we partnered with the Cove to do an internal mural on that one. And then this year we partnered with the Dr. Pepper Museum to do their new mural on the side facing the railroad tracks. I
haven't seen that one yet. Is it done?
Oh yeah, it finished in right before Christmas. We haven't had a celebration yet because construction has just torn up
everything over
5th Street. So we're just waiting for it to be done. Hopefully, we're slating for March or early April, and so we're really grateful because this year we got to partner with Rogue Media and Mike and their team. They were great in mentoring our digital apprentices who made a documentary to document cool. the program this year. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
You know that Mike's a busy dude.
Well, everywhere.
Trying to think, I had a question about that. I don't go to the Dr. Pepper Museum. I've never been. So I didn't know that y'all, so I did a mural for that.
You should go. I honestly had never been until probably about 2 years ago. And it was so interesting. And then I think this year, late last year, I forget what month it is. They just installed this new soda fountain exhibit that Miss Cherry Bogus, she kind of details her story when they were at Paul Quinn campus and kind of doing their own kind of civil rights protesting at the soda fountain at the Dr. Pepper Museum.
Yeah,
So
I was about to say, I thought that they had some kind of like installation of like Black history in there now.
Yeah, and so it's beautiful hearing her tell her story and see pictures from that time and seeing how involved college students were from Paul Quinn and the civil rights action in our community.
Yeah,
so
that's cool. Do you do any like are you the kind of artist yourself? Like, do you paint, stuff like that?
No, no, I'm awful. I cannot paint, cannot draw, cannot sing. I tried playing an instrument, and it just wasn't for me. So I was like, I'm gonna just do what I can to support everybody else.
No, that's cool though, because you're still involved. Like,
Yeah.
you're not. Yeah. I think that's dope. Yeah. Anything?
I was gonna ask a question, but my mind just went blank. I was gonna ask a question. As far as the murals, how do y'all choose which buildings, or do y'all ask who's?
Yeah, I mean, people reach out to us all the
Okay.
time. They're just like, hey, I want a mural. Can you help me? Can you provide some guidance? Murals are one of the best ways for businesses to just have something permanent or change them out to just reflect your business, either, externally or internally. And it's just like a really hot thing right now.
Yeah.
And so people just reach out like, hey, I really love art and would love to work with students and give people those opportunities to grow and develop their business skills as they, are making their way through high school, but also support the cultivation of, the local artists that get paid to mentor our students. So, I mean, we typically have like a laundry list of people who are interested. Not all buildings work because, I mean, it is a commitment because of the time frame
Yes.
of the program. So we're like, if you want something quick, we can, either, direct you to a few artists that might fit what you're looking for. You can take a look on the creative directory or send us an open call. We'll repost it, whatever. I mean, so you can work on your timeline. But, people really support the growth and the mission of that program. And so, if the building works, if the timing works, then, we move forward and see. And then we also, like, don't try to, go back to the same community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, year after year, we try to spread it around all of the districts in Waco. So, I mean, and it's the main pathway we choose is because our downtown core is established with the state as a cultural district. So we try to keep them in that area because, with being a cultural district, you're allotted access to have funding for projects.
Right.
So they typically center around the cultural district, but we do advise on, places elsewhere too
I got you.
and stretch those bounds a little bit when it works.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Y'all were behind the like, I think it's 7th Street. Like, kind of
No,
is,
we
no?
weren't. That was the brainchild of City Center Waco. So Wendy, Greg, Michael, and all their team were the people who facilitated that project. But it kind of started with the Waco Town Chalk and Walk that we hosted last year in partnership with the Waco Downtown Farmers Market, Eastside Market, and Lulu Bells. So the murals that people see on the wall are, remnants of the chalk art that was all along Austin Avenue from 5th to 8th Street and, part of the market. And so, I mean, that kind of activated that space. And then, a few months later, they were able to get the go-ahead to shut it down and make something beautiful. But, we really are supportive of creative placemaking and just activating spaces that typically might be underused or people might not think of as ways to bring art into, physically the streets. So,
yeah, I thought it had something to do with it because it's so close to Cultivate and stuff like that, and y'all have done so much downtown. Is that permanent? Like, is that not?
I don't know.
Okay.
So at first it's only supposed to be for, I guess, the summer, and then
It just
it just
stuck around.
they were able to get the go ahead from the city to extend the project because people, were using it as event space. And we were able to support and provide a few grants to partner with local artists and partner the public health district to promote getting vaccines. So we had the vaccine trucks out there like weekly during the summer as they were doing event programming in the space. But yeah, I don't know the timeline on that one, but I'm really glad that we have something like that, because I mean it's so beautiful.
It's cool.
In that space. And I mean Texas is beautiful in general, and when our weather is
Acting
participating,
right.
it's been a great space to just go out there and sit and just hang out downtown.
Yeah, I think I noticed it when they first put it out there, of course, but there was a specific event that we went to that they had out there. It was my first time out there, really like looking around and stuff like that. No, this is cool. This is it's different. Do you know, are y'all trying to do anything like that? Like, is Creative Waco trying to work on section, like, snatching the space to, like,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not really
just like y'all's department.
Yeah, ours department. We try to really stay focused on programming and making sure whatever we do is sustainable. But we are working right now to bring back the Chalk and Walk for this year. So I mean, we're gonna upgrade that space hopefully with some new art. And so I feel like we'll be announcing that within the next month for sure. But we just kind of got the team together to see how this year is gonna look. That's
true. I remember when we first started like our Blacks in Conversations and stuff like that, and we talked about what we wanted to do in the arts and this creative world. I don't know why, but I think maybe just because me personally, I missed out on the Austin graffiti wall before they turned it down. Like, I never got a chance to go down there and actually see it. So I was like, I thought it'd be cool if Waco had a space like that, where it wasn't so much like an already installed like art installation or mural or whatever, but just a free space for artists to go out there and do whatever. I know they're probably shy on that just because what it could bring into the space like that. I was
about to say, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's like
it could go either way.
Yeah, you just gotta trust people. Like, hey, it's like when you have nice things, like, let's keep it nice so you can continue to do nice things.
Because you couldn't really just police it. Like, you can't have nobody out there making sure nobody's always not doing what they're not supposed to. But it's also just
but I do feel like when people do have the space to express themselves freely, that you're more protective of it. I definitely, I mean, people have brought those ideas to us, and so we're like, I mean, if you guys can get some framework for it and get the go ahead from the partners needed to make it happen, we'd love to support you in whatever way. And so I mean, it's definitely been a conversation that's not only been with our staff members of like things that we'd like to see, but I mean, I'm sure other people in the community have those same kind of sentiments too. So
yeah, I think that would be cool. And I'm just like, you start thinking about all of the possibilities of what that could look like. I'm like, is this safe for children? Because the biggest thing is, like, most artists, like, I'm the same way. And so I don't fault them for that. But most artists believe art is expression. Yeah. And it's my perspective of what, what I'm doing. So whereas, I mean, I'd be like, I would never do that. You went too far. That's not too far to them. I'm in like all of these art groups on Facebook, and I saw this post earlier today actually, and the lady's an artist, and she does nude art, and she has a baby on the way, and her partner's like, that needs to come down before he turns 1 because I don't want him being exposed to, nudity, and her perspective was that I don't see nudity as being sexual, right. Whereas everybody else is like, oh my God, you have this hanging in your room. So that's why I was like, that sounds wonderful. And that would be great. But I think that would become something that because people take it like, okay, this is a public place. I might not need to do that. But some people take advantage of things like that. It would be cool if everybody was on the same wave. Yeah.
Like, I wonder how Austin does with their graffiti park, like how they... Make sure that
they probably go clean it
or whatever.
Well, other when you mentioned just expression and stuff like that, I was like, I can where we run into issues that you can see somebody making like a passion project, on a wall or something like that, and you have somebody come through and they just draw like something different. And then you have this person who's hurt because they really put something they care about on this
that's
wall.
What you got to be careful of is when you do sign up to those kind of projects, to know that it's ever changing. It will continue to evolve, and you just have to be okay with your art not being the same as when it was. So wait, so as an artist yourself and as someone who is involved with the arts, either directly, peripherally, whatever, so what do you guys like enjoy the most, and like what do you feel? I mean, shoot, might as well.
I'm so that's I asked the question about money because I've been selling my art since I knew I could draw. People be like, "Can you draw me this?" And I was like, in elementary and middle school, I'd be like, "Yeah, 50 cents or $1."
Yeah.
And so it's like at the time I had no idea that was a thing for artists. I don't think I knew that artists got paid, but I was like, I'm not about to be sitting here concentrating for you for free.
Right.
And although 50 cents or $1 isn't much, I'm just like, you're not getting it for free. So I've always been like that. But for me, it's just a safe space. I don't know where it came from. I just started drawing one day, literally. And I taught myself to paint, I want to say like 2017, 2018. And I didn't know I could paint. But I was like, surely if I can sit here and have a human scanner and be able to mimic what I'm seeing, I can get some paint and paint. And it's been a process. Like you said, you're ever evolving and you're always going to be perfecting your craft. I'm a real artist. I'll stop. I would be like, if I was doing music, I would be the artist that everybody hated because I would take a hiatus. I'm already
like Lauryn Hill, drop an album and then disappear.
Like, where did Beyonce go?
Yeah.
She lived her life. Because one thing that I do feel about art is that you cannot create if you have not taken time to live. And I'm really big on that because it's like you don't have the experience and you can't keep recreating the same thing over and over and making copies. So you do have to take time to live your life and experience. And for me, I'm really versatile. So if I want to write, I'm going to write. If I do poetry, whatever, song, whatever, I'm going to do that. Whatever I feel is okay for me in that season of my life, that's the art that I create. So I don't limit myself because as with a lot of artists, it's always multi-talents. Yeah. It's not just one thing. So I just gravitate to where I am in my life in that season. I try to paint and people are like, well, I want you to make me this. I'm like, I can't make that. And so that's one thing about me. I don't force myself to do anything. Yeah. I don't write. If I feel like I can't write, I'm like, I don't have the words. If I get a random thought, even if it just starts as one line, I put it in notes on my phone and I go write it in my journal later and then it can become a whole short story. And so I think that's the biggest thing that artists need to realize. You got to go with you. Right. Because I think there's pressure as an artist to always constantly be creating. You should be doing this. You should be doing this. But for people who don't have those gifts, they don't know that it gets overwhelming and it will drain you. Yeah. I had to learn the hard way because I was like, okay, I'm going to write. I'm going to be singing everywhere. I'm going to draw. I'm going to paint. And I was burnt out. And because I loved it, I felt like it was okay. But I realized that even when you love something, too much of it is dangerous. Right. But, I mean, I love art. So whatever I'm doing in that season is okay with me because what I had to realize is my art is for me. Yeah. And that was the hardest. And if you enjoy it, good.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm happy.
Yes. That was the hardest lesson for me to learn because, like you said, people always like, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And it was always that situation. But I grew up never having art for myself. And so once I became an adult, I was just like, this is mine. Yeah. And I'm going to make it. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. If it doesn't sell, oh, well, I did this because I needed to get it out. Yeah. That's my spill. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah. No, I got you. Dang, that's a hard act to follow. No, see, yeah, Jazz actually has, and I didn't even know this until like a little while ago, that she could draw and paint, stuff like that. I can't paint or draw. Can't sing. I don't dance.
I feel like here we are.
Today looked at me because I'll be really trying to.
TikTok routine. I cannot.
I'll be really trying to sing, but I can't sing. So yeah, she looked at me like, yeah, but I don't know. I'm a real fan. I just like art. Like I think it's a really cool thing. I really hate how like subjective it can be. Like one of my biggest issues that I've just gotten into art lately, especially after that conversation with Jordan that we had, was that you can't really like why do we determine what's good and bad? You know, like it's completely subjective. Like one person can like something and one person can hate it, and they're both completely justified in it. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is just somebody can create something and then so many people take so many different things away from it. I'm really big into film. That's where my avenue is, if I'm gonna, say, and then, photography and stuff like that, of course. But if I'm gonna, choose a lane in the art, that's my lane. And the beauty of that stuff is that most of the time it's intentional. Everything that they do is intentional. So it kind of, you can create like a direct message. You can share like a kind of direct story through it, but since it's art, people are still going to take whatever they can from it. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, you know, like, I don't pick up my camera and go take pictures or just like record like I want to all the time. I'm definitely getting better at it. But yeah, I don't do it all the time. And I think that's it. Just the being able to capture a story or a moment or something, and then people still just feel something else from it. That's my like, you know, that's my love for it. I like it. Yeah.
I just really enjoy how like art is always within us. So when you think about from the beginning of ages, like they told their history through, you know, stick figures or whatever, and then how it's transitioned into storytelling, writing, singing songs. Like when you think about, you know, our people in enslaved times, like how they had to, you know, pass down traditions and stuff. So I'm just like, it's just so beautiful to see how the things that, you know, people create has just like changed over time, and just how, you know, you don't have to be good to be an artist. Like just do your thing, grow and enjoy it. So
I posted one of my friend's songs the other day. When he hears this, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I posted one of my friend's songs, and another friend slid up and was like, "Bro, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not feeling this." And I was like, well, it's not for you to feel. Like I was like, I'm not sharing it for y'all to like it or not. I'm sharing it because he's doing it and I want to support him. Yeah. And I was like, we have artists that are making like millions of dollars for straight trash. So it's like, if I know somebody who's even like decent,
putting themselves out there,
taking the time and the confidence to even try, like I'm going to boost them until, you know, they finally decide for themselves they don't want to do it or whatever, until they finally make it or whatever. But I'm not going to sit there and deem what's good and bad. Like I can't. Yeah. I still will. You know, for the ones that make millions and stuff like that, I'll judge their stuff all day. But yeah, for our up and coming people, like I just want to support. Like I want them to just get there, get the strive going.
Yeah, I think like we talked about this when we were doing an episode with Jordan, like how our history is so rich because of art.
Yeah.
And art is the only thing that never fades. You could be dumb as rocks, but if you have a gift, then that gift can carry you so far. You don't may get manipulated out your money, but that gift can take you places that sometimes your knowledge or your intellect may not be able to take you. And just like you were saying, like we were talking about how they made maps with braids, and they put seeds and rice, and you know, like
to
that's
make sure that their people were okay when, you know,
it's crazy.
Unfortunately, they were separated.
It's crazy, and it's like that's the thing that I love about art is it's always telling some type of story. Like even the hieroglyphics, like all of that stuff, that's cool to me because I'm like, how did y'all create a whole language with images? I don't know what they say, but that's really cool. And so like I think about things like that, and I think that's one reason why I am so like, I think if I didn't have like art, I would be really sad. Like life would be depressing without art. And when you were talking about how there is a disconnect between business and art, that's so crazy because I don't know how they think they get their logos.
They go so hand in hand. One
like,
does not work without the other.
Your visual concept of what the architecture of your business came from an artist. And it's like people discredit the arts so much, and we have no funding, but everything in the world that we do revolves around some form of art. Because like I said, like Coca-Cola wouldn't have like these logos, all of these corporations.
You know, someone's writing that your copy. Someone is doing all of this. So yeah, that's why we think that this program is just so impactful and beneficial for our program, because not only is it bringing together those companies, I mean those like, you know, sectors and those people, but you know, it's reframing what an art supporter is and how you can support the arts. Because like, you know, when you think of an art supporter, you think of somebody, this is off the top of my head, don't judge me, but I just think of, you know, those people who go to like the operas and this like, you know, really classical long-term art supporters. But I mean, it's so broad and diverse, and like when you think of the arts and what it brings to not only, you know, you personally, but to cultures, to spaces, it's what makes people want to be in a place, because it's just a feeling. It's the feeling.
That'd be a lot of places,
And like as Waco continues to grow, as businesses come here, as businesses that have been here grow, you know, the things that really keep the people here, are people happy and keep talent and all those things that really make a community together and unified and strong, they revolve around the arts and things to do. So
yeah, I think
it's
people,
just like education, honestly.
I was about to say, I think people need to stop thinking of art as simply entertainment and start thinking of it as a necessity, because really, if we want to be frank about it, without the art, even like you said, education, how do you think these textbooks are made? Like,
it teaches you how to think out the box. You know, you don't want to have all
of this stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're looking to grow your business, you're looking to diversify your business, you're looking to, you know, bring more life into your business, join us.
Because where would you be without art?
Yeah.
Join in the conversation. Let's grow together. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
If you had, this is my last question.
Yeah.
If you had like one just piece of advice for somebody who is like an artist that's trying to, you know, find their footing, what would your advice be?
Oh, okay. So as someone, this is my personal opinion, because I mean, I was in that space last year, still in that space. And as I continue to grow, I mean, it's more of just like, you know, trusting yourself. So the court of public opinion is there, self-doubt is there, imposter syndrome is there, but as long as you're doing it and you're making yourself happy and you know, you're not rushing the process but trusting the process, everything will work out. You know, just be there, be present, and grow. And so, you know, what you get from your experience is what you put out, and you know, just do it. Honestly, like you said, just do it. Yeah, that's what I've learned the most. Like the people who grow, it's an investment in their process. I mean, I'm not gonna say grow online, because I mean the most random stuff blows up, but like the most authentic things are when you have your connection to yourself and your art and you invest in it. And so just not be afraid. Don't run from it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you brought up imposter syndrome.
I was going to ask. What is it for the people?
Because people feel like they have to imitate everything in order for it to work. And that's not the truth, because like I told Jordan, like we all have something that's unique to us. Yeah. And I think a lot of artists, like I'm really, really glad you said that, a lot of artists, they put so much time into what's popular and what's selling. Yeah. And it's like that's selling for that person.
Or for right now. On top of that.
Right.
It's
and even if they have longevity, that's their thing.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to take inspiration from people, but you have to find your own vein.
Everything that's popping is a trend. Like, you know, the new thing will come out, and then, you know, if you focus too much on it, then you'll just constantly be chasing the trends. But, you know, when you build something that's from you and within you, and you can kind of set what you do, then, you know, no one can change that or shake that. And it's very much you. And it's also like, you know, not being afraid to, what was I about to say? Just lost my mind.
Be like that. Yeah, be like that.
Oh, we'll come back to that one when it comes back. But yeah, just don't be afraid. Yeah. Don't be afraid to be in the space. So I feel like a lot of imposter syndrome is like, you know, when you're doing something new or you're like really like trying to take yourself to the next level, like you don't believe like you belong in this space because you know, you don't have the right background that people typically assume that, you know, historically people have been in that position. Like, you know, you wouldn't be there if you didn't do the work or you weren't able to do whatever they're requiring of you. So, you know, just trust yourself.
Wouldn't be there if you weren't meant to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That makes sense. See, I thought you said imposter syndrome or something. I was like, what is it? What is it? Not imposter.
Let's talk about that.
All right. No, cool. I appreciate you.
This is a really good, enlightening conversation. I hope people listen.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Because it's really, really important. And
just the season in general been great. Yeah.
It's been really good. So I appreciate that, because I know that like you work with a lot of people, and that's why I asked if y'all have any like professional artist development, because I'm really big on that.
No, I really do hope, you know, you're able to come to the February 16th Air Institute workshop, because, you know, we are trying to make sure that this program is reaching all bounds of our community from, you know, just all bounds. So, I mean, the best way that this program will be successful is by having as diverse of a population, not only in like ethnicity, but in backgrounds, age ranges. Like, we need you guys, because I mean, it won't work without it.
before we close out,
Yes.
shout yourself out. Where your handles, where you know, yeah.
I don't know if I feel like sharing my personal Instagram, but y'all can follow me. My floral Instagram, Stalk and Stem, like STALKANDSTEM on Instagram. My website's launching soon, stalkandstem.com. CO. And yeah, follow Creative Waco on Facebook and Instagram at Creative Waco. There's so many things coming, not only from our end, but just with spring. You know, everybody is launching new things, and so we want to share those. And if you have something that's popping, tag us so I can share it. So yeah.
And support local artists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most
Support local
importantly.
artists, for Black owned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy
Support.
early Black History Month, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's get it
Right around
going.
the corner. Yeah. The real start of the year.
Yeah.
But you got anything else?
No,
Cool.
because I could talk all day about art. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
just, this
And
is a
there
conversation.
was a whole nother section I wanted to get into, but we're not gonna get into it. We're fine.
Another day.
Another
Another
day.
Another day.
We'll do part 2. But, all right, bet. As always, I'm De'Viar,
And I'm Jasmine.
and this has been Stories of the Streets. Stories of the Streets is, we already did sponsor by. You can find us at, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter.
No, we don't
have a Twitter. We have a Facebook and Instagram. Follow Row Media.
Oh, you didn't drop our text. Instagram is Stories of the Streets _ Facebook is Stories of the Streets, and you can email us stories of the THA streets @gmail.com.